All right, let's play a game. What if I told you that the real difference between being broke and becoming a millionaire isn't some secret stock tip or a winning lottery ticket? What if it was just 500 bucks a month? Today, we are firing up the time machine. We are going on a 30-year journey to see if one simple little habit can actually turn into a $1,000,000 fortune. So, strap in, let's find out.
Okay, so every single month you get to make this choice. On one side, you've got right now. Ooh, that sounds good, doesn't it? We're talking fancy dinners, a last-minute weekend getaway, that shiny new gadget you've been eyeing. Instant gratification. But on the other side, you've got for your future, an S&P 500 ETF, ticker symbol VOO. I know, it sounds kind of boring, right? A little mysterious.
But here's the real question. What if I told you that one of these buys you some really cool memories, while the other one buys you actual, real-deal freedom? Let's start the clock on our 30-year experiment and find out which is which.
Now, for this experiment to work, we need a ride. And listen, we are not trying to be geniuses here. We're not gambling on some hot new stock that might crash tomorrow. Nope. We are playing it smart. We are buying the haystack, not desperately searching for the needle. We're going to use an ETF called VOO, which just lets you own a tiny piece of the 500 biggest companies in America. You know them: Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, the whole shebang. It's a simple, broad, and, historically, a really powerful way to invest.
So, for our little time travel simulation, we're going to use this number, 10%. And look, we didn't just pull this out of thin air. Data from NYU's Stern School of Business shows this has been the historical average for like a century. Yeah, some years are going to be down, some are going to be way, way up, but for our trip into the future, we're just going to stick with that long-term average. All right, you've done it. You set up your account, you're putting in your 500 bucks every month. And now, oh boy, now we enter what I call the long, boring decade. And I'm not kidding, this is without a doubt the absolute hardest part of this entire journey. It's the part where it feels like nothing is happening. Let's look at how this crawls along. After year one, you've put in $6,000 and you've got $6,300. Wow, a whole $300 in profit. I mean, seriously, you can make that selling old junk on eBay. By year 5, you've put in 30 grand and it's grown to 38. Okay, it's something, but it's not exactly buy a yacht money, you know. And then you finally hit year 10, the first big milestone.
After a full decade of doing the right thing, you've put in $60,000 of your own hard-earned cash, and your account finally hits $100,000. Okay, that's a big number. It's the first time this whole thing feels real. And honestly, this right here is the biggest temptation point in the entire process.
So here's the moment of truth. You log in, you see that beautiful 6-figure number sitting there, and suddenly that dream kitchen renovation doesn't seem so far-fetched. That down payment on a new car is practically screaming your name. So what do? Do you cash out and grab the prize right now? Or do you trust the process and hold the line?
Okay, you did it. You held the line. You resisted the urge to splurge. So now, you better buckle up because we are completely done with the slow, boring part. We're about to hit the fast forward button, and believe me, this is where the real magic happens. We're not just jumping ahead a little bit, we are jumping forward 2 more decades, from year 10 all the way to year 30. You ready for this?
Whoa, there it is. No way. $1.13 million. Just look at that number. After 30 years of just doing your thing, putting in 500 bucks a month, you are officially a millionaire. Let that sink in for a second. This is the power of patience. This is the explosion we were waiting for. It actually happened.
But wait, it gets even crazier. Here's the most mind-blowing part of all. Let's break down where that $1,000,000 came from. Over 30 years, you personally contributed a total of $180,000. That's a lot of money, for sure. But look at this. The market growth, your money's money, generated almost $1,000,000 by itself. Your money made you 5 times more money than you ever put in. That is absolutely insane.
And that gets to the absolute heart of it. You know, Albert Einstein supposedly said this, and he was not kidding around. This whole phenomenon where your earnings start making their own earnings, well, it's the most powerful force in finance. You're looking at the 8th wonder of the world in action right here.
All right. Let's all take a deep breath and come back down to earth for just a second. I know what you're probably thinking. Yeah, $1,000,000 in 30 years sounds incredible, but there's a giant elephant in the room that we need to talk about. I can already hear the keyboards clacking in the comments section. But, excuse me, what about inflation? $1 million in 2054 will probably only buy you like a fancy sandwich. And you know what? You're absolutely 100% right. So let's just be real about it. If we figure an average inflation rate of, say, 3% a year, that big, sexy number of $1.13 million is going to have the buying power of about $450,000 in today's money. It's not the same, but let's be honest, that is still an incredible amount of wealth.
And that brings us to the real punchline, doesn't it? The choice isn't really between $1 million and $450,000. The actual choice is this. Would you rather have 450 grand in today's buying power? Or would you rather have zero? Because spending that money on stuff just leaves you with memories, but investing it still leaves you with a life-changing pile of cash.
So, let's wrap this all up. Becoming a millionaire this way, it's not about being lucky. It's not about being a genius investor or getting some secret tip. It's not a lottery ticket. It's a habit. It is a choice you make over and over again.
And the formula, well, it's so simple it's almost funny. You start with an amount you can actually stick with. You put it on autopilot so you don't even have to think about it. You put it in a big, broad fund like VOO, and then, and this is the hardest part, you just walk away. You let time and the magic of compounding do all the heavy lifting for you.
So, we end right back where we started, with a choice. That $500 in your pocket, that potential for a weekend trip or a new gadget, is that money for the person you are today, or is it a down payment on the person you want to become tomorrow? The choice, as always, is yours.